The darkness of space held no mercy for the dying. Commander Alex Reed watched his instrument panel flicker and die as emergency power finally gave out. His reconnaissance ship, the Whisper, tumbled helplessly through the void near the Crimson Nebula. 3 hours ago, he had been conducting a routine surveillance mission on draconian military installations. Now he was counting the minutes until his life support failed. The attack had come from nowhere. 6 draconian patrol ships had dropped out of hyperspace around him like hunting wolves. His stealth systems, which should have kept him invisible, had failed completely. Someone had sold them out, or their technology had advanced further than Earth intelligence believed. Either way, Alex was now paying the price. He reached for the emergency beacon on his wrist and activated it. The small device hummed briefly, then went silent. The signal was away, broadcasting on encrypted Earth Defense Force frequencies. Standard protocol demanded it. Whether anyone would receive it in time was another question entirely. The hull shook as grappling beams locked onto his ship. Through the forward viewport, Alex could see the massive bulk of a draconian warship approaching. The vessel was easily 10 times the size of his scout ship, its dark metal hull covered in weapon batteries and sensor arrays. Red lights pulsed along its surface like a heartbeat, giving it an organic, threatening appearance. Alex had studied draconian ships in training, but seeing one up close was different. The aliens built their vessels like fortresses, designed to intimidate as much as destroy. Every curve and angle seemed calculated to inspire fear. It was working. The airlock cycled with a hiss of equalizing pressure. Heavy footsteps echoed through his ship as the boarding party entered. Alex remained in his pilot seat, hands visible and empty. There was no point in resistance. His sidearm would be useless against their armor, and he had no desire to give them an excuse for violence. The first draconian through his cabin door was enormous, nearly 8 feet tall, with scales that shifted from dark green to black in the light. Yellow eyes fixed on Alex with obvious contempt. The creature's mouth opened to reveal rows of sharp teeth as it spoke in heavily accented galactic standard. "Human pilot, you will come with us. Resist and die." Alex stood slowly, keeping his movements careful and deliberate. "I am Commander Alex Reed of the Earth Defense Force. I am your prisoner under the Galactic Warfare Convention." The draconian laughed, a sound like grinding stone. "Conventions are for equals, soft skin. You are prey." 2 more draconians entered behind the first, weapons raised. They wore the dark armor of elite troops, and Alex could see the pride in their bearing. These were soldiers who had never known defeat, never questioned their superiority. That confidence might be useful later. They marched him through corridors that reeked of oil and something organic he preferred not to identify. The ship's interior was as intimidating as its exterior, with low lighting and sharp edges everywhere. It was a place built by predators, for predators. The bridge of the Vengeful Talon was a cathedral of controlled chaos. Dozens of draconians worked at stations arranged in a circle around a raised command platform. The captain stood at the center, a massive specimen even by draconian standards. His scales were darker than the others, marked with scars that spoke of many battles. When he turned to look at Alex, his yellow eyes held the cold intelligence of a natural killer. "I am Captain Thurrock of the Draconian Imperial Fleet," the creature announced. "You have trespassed in our space, human. Your ship carried spy equipment. You will tell us everything about Earth's defenses." Alex maintained his military bearing despite the fear crawling up his spine. "Commander Alex Reed, serial number 7749 Alpha. That is all I am required to tell you." The bridge crew erupted in laughter. The sound echoed off the metal walls like the cries of scavengers. Several draconians made comments in their native language that Alex's translator didn't catch, but their mocking tone was clear enough. "Look at it," one of them said in standard. "So small and weak. How did these creatures ever leave their planet?" "Their ships are like toys," another added. "No wonder they hide in the shadows like vermin." Thurrock raised a clawed hand for silence. "You misunderstand your situation, human. We are not bound by your primitive conventions. You will tell us what we want to know, or we will take it from your corpse. Alex checked the chronometer display on a nearby console. 4 hours since his capture. His beacon had been transmitting for nearly 7 hours total. If anyone was coming, they would need more time to reach this location. He had to buy that time. Then you'll get nothing from my corpse either, Alex replied. Earth Defense Force. Personnel are trained to resist interrogation. Your threats don't scare me. This brought another round of laughter from the bridge crew. Thurok's scarred face split in what might have been a smile, showing far too many teeth. We have broken hundreds of species, human. Your Earth sent only one ship to spy on us. One ship with one frightened pilot. Does this show strength to you? The captain gestured to his crew with obvious pride. We are the apex of evolution. We conquered our homeworld when your species was still hiding from predators. We built an empire that spans 50 star systems. What has humanity accomplished? You cling to one small planet and send children to do adult work. Alex remained silent, but his mind was working. The Draconians' arrogance was total, absolute. They saw humanity as insects beneath their notice except as an annoyance. That blindness could be their weakness. Take him to detention, Thurok ordered. Let him think about his situation. Tomorrow we will begin proper questioning. And prepare. A broadcast signal to Earth. I want them to watch their spy die slowly. As the guards dragged him away, Alex heard one final comment from the bridge crew. The Softskins will surrender once they see how easily we kill their soldiers. They have no stomach for real war. The detention block was exactly what Alex expected from a predator species. The cells were small, dark, and designed to break the spirit as much as contain the body. They threw him into one and sealed the door with a force field that hummed with lethal energy. Alex sat on the narrow bench that served as a bed and checked his internal chronometer. 7 hours and 23 minutes since beacon activation. Standard Deep Strike Fleet response time was 12 to 18 hours depending on location and available assets. He just had to survive that long. Outside his cell, he could hear Draconian guards making jokes about human weakness. They had no idea what was coming for them. Pain had become Alex's constant companion by the third day. Not physical pain, though the Draconians had tried that approach. They had discovered quickly that humans could endure more physical punishment than expected. Instead, they had turned to psychological warfare, and they were very good at it. The cell speakers had not stopped broadcasting for 72 hours. Draconian propaganda filled the air with tales of conquered worlds and broken species. They showed him holographic recordings of their victories, cities burning under their weapons, entire populations fleeing in terror. The message was clear. Resistance was futile. Commander Vorth entered the cell block with his usual escort of 2 guards. The intelligence officer was smaller than most Draconians, but his yellow eyes held a cruel intelligence that Alex had learned to respect. Where Thurok was a blunt instrument of war, Vorth was a scalpel, precise and deadly. Good morning, Commander Reed, Vorth said in his perfect galactic standard. I trust you slept well? Alex looked up from his bench. Sleep had been impossible with the constant noise, and Vorth knew it. Everything the alien did was calculated for maximum psychological impact. Even his politeness was a weapon. Well enough, Alex replied. Though your entertainment selection leaves something to be desired. Vorth's mouth twisted in what might have been amusement. Ah, yes, our historical documentaries. I thought you might find them educational. Would you prefer to discuss what you learned? I learned that you like to brag about murdering civilians, Alex said. Very impressive. The 2 guards shifted at his tone, hands moving to their weapons. Vorth raised a restraining hand. Physical violence was too crude for his purposes. He preferred to break minds rather than bones. Such hostility, Vorth said. And yet, here you sit in our cage like a tame pet. Tell me, Commander, how does it feel to be abandoned by your own kind? 3 days and no rescue attempt. No ransom demands. Nothing. Alex kept his expression neutral, though Vorth's words cut deeper than intended. The intelligence officer was right about one thing. 3 days was a long time for a rescue operation. Standard protocol called for immediate response to beacon signals. Either his message had not reached Earth forces, or they had decided he was not worth the risk. Earth doesn't negotiate with terrorists, Alex said. Terrorists? Forth laughed. We are a legitimate military force engaged in expansion of our territory. Your ship was conducting espionage in our space. By any definition, you are the criminal here. The alien began pacing in front of the cell, his movements graceful despite his size. Alex had noticed this about all Draconians. They moved like predators, always balanced, always ready to strike. Evolution had shaped them for hunting. Let me tell you what I know about humans, Forth continued. You are a young species. Weak, divided. You have been in space for less than 2 centuries, while we have ruled among the stars for millennia. Your technology is primitive. Your ships are small and fragile. Your soldiers break easily. Alex checked the chronometer on the wall. It had become a habit that seemed to amuse his captors. They thought he was counting down to his own death. In a way, he was counting down to something, but not what they imagined. You do that often, Forth observed, checking the time. Are you expecting something, Commander? Just keeping track, Alex replied. Military habit. Ah, yes, your military training. Tell me about that. Where did you train? What ships did you serve on? What are Earth's defensive capabilities? The same. Questions asked the same way every day. Alex gave the same answer he had given before. Commander Alex Reed, serial number 7749 Alpha. That is all I am required to tell you. Forth's calm facade cracked slightly. Required by whom? Your government that abandoned you? Your military that sent one ship to do the work of a fleet? Face reality, Commander, you are alone. I'm never alone, Alex said quietly. That's something you wouldn't understand. Explain it to me. Alex leaned back against the cell wall. Humans don't abandon their own. We may be small, we may be weak, by your standards, but we don't leave people behind. Someone will come for me. Will they? Forth activated a holographic display showing sensor readings from the surrounding space. Our instruments detect nothing for light years in every direction. No ships, no signals, no sign that Earth even knows you're missing. The display was impressive, showing the vengeful Talon and its escort ships in perfect isolation. Draconian sensor technology was advanced, Alex had to admit. Their ability to detect and track objects in space exceeded human capabilities by a significant margin. Your sensors are very good, Alex said. The best in known space, Forth agreed. Nothing approaches without our knowledge. Nothing hides from us. If your people were coming, we would know. Alex nodded thoughtfully. I'm sure you would. Something in his tone made Forth pause. The intelligence officer studied Alex's face, searching for some sign of deception or hidden knowledge. Alex kept his expression neutral, but inwardly he smiled. The Draconian's arrogance was showing again. You still believe they will come, Forth said. Even with the evidence before your eyes. Is this human stupidity or something else? Maybe. Both, Alex admitted. We've never been the smartest species, I'll give you that. But we're stubborn. Some might call it stupidity. We call it determination. Determination will not save you from reality, Commander. Your ship was destroyed. Your beacon was likely damaged in the crash. Earth does not know where you are, and, even if they did, they lack the military power to challenge us here. Alex checked the chronometer again. 76 hours and counting. Still within acceptable parameters for a long-range response, especially if they needed to gather intelligence first. The beacon had been functional when he activated it. He was certain of that much. You seem very confident in your abilities, Alex said. With good reason. We have conquered 47 worlds, Commander. We have faced species with technology beyond your imagination. We have broken empires that had ruled for thousands of years. What is one small planet populated by jumped-up primates? A very dangerous planet, Alex replied. You should study human history before you dismiss us. We didn't reach the top of our food chain by being weak. Forth's laugh was genuine this time. Your food chain? Commander, you are insects compared to us. We are apex predators. We have evolved beyond the need for caution. Evolved beyond caution, Alex repeated. That's an interesting way to put it. What do you mean? Alex was quiet for a long moment, then looked directly at Vorth. On Earth we have a saying, pride comes before the fall. Species that think they've evolved beyond caution tend to learn hard lessons. Are you threatening us, Commander? I'm stating facts. Humans have been fighting for survival since we crawled out of the oceans. We've faced ice ages, plagues, wars, natural disasters, and each other. We learned to adapt, to think, to survive against impossible odds. That's what makes us dangerous. Vorth's eyes narrowed. You speak as if you have some advantage we don't. See? Do I? Alex checked the chronometer one more time. Maybe I'm just trying to pass the time until someone comes to collect me. The intelligence officer stared at him for a long moment, then turned and left without another word. Alex could hear him speaking to the guards outside, but the words were in the draconian language and his translator couldn't parse them. Alone again, Alex allowed himself a small smile. Vorth was starting to suspect that something was wrong, but the alien's arrogance wouldn't let him believe that humans could pose a real threat. That blindness would cost them dearly, very soon. The fourth day brought a change in routine that Alex had been expecting. Captain Thurrock himself came to the detention block, flanked by an honor guard of his finest soldiers. The massive draconian had to duck to fit through the corridor, and his presence filled the small space with an almost physical weight of menace. Today you die, human, Thurrock announced without preamble. My crew grows tired of your defiance. We will broadcast your execution to Earth as a message of our intentions. Alex stood slowly from his bench, working the stiffness out of his joints. 4 days of poor food and minimal exercise had taken their toll, but his mind remained sharp. I suppose talking won't change your mind? Nothing will change my mind, Thurrock replied. But if you wish to speak your last words, I will allow it. Perhaps your final moments will provide entertainment for my crew. Actually, I would like to talk, Alex said. Not about military secrets or surrender, about something you might find more interesting. The captain's scarred face showed surprise. After days of stubborn silence, the human was finally ready to speak. Very well, but make it brief. The execution chamber awaits. Alex sat back down and gestured for Thurrock to come closer. The guards tensed, but their captain waved them back. What threat could one small human pose to a draconian warrior? Tell me, Captain, what do you know about human history? Thurrock's laugh rumbled through the corridor. Your history? You are barely out of your home system. What history could you possibly have worth knowing? More than you might think, Alex replied. We've been fighting wars for thousands of years, not just against other species, but against our own planet. Earth tried to kill us in every way imaginable. Ice ages that lasted millennia. Volcanic eruptions that blotted out the sun. Diseases that wiped out continents. Predators that made your species look tame. And yet you survived, Thurrock said mockingly. How impressive. We did more than survive. We thrived. We learned to turn every disadvantage into an advantage. When the ice came, we learned to make fire. When predators hunted us, we learned to hunt them back. When disease struck, we developed medicine. Every challenge made us stronger. The guards were listening now, despite themselves. Alex could see the curiosity in their eyes, though they tried to hide it behind their warrior masks. The most dangerous thing about humans, Alex continued, isn't our technology or our weapons. It's our refusal to quit. We've been the underdog in every fight we've ever been in, and we keep winning anyway. Winning? Thurrock's voice carried genuine amusement. You call sitting in my cage winning? Alex checked the chronometer on the wall. 96 hours since beacon activation. Right on schedule. Sometimes winning means surviving long enough for help to arrive. There is no help coming, human. We have been over this. Have we? Alex stood again and faced the captain directly. Tell me about your sensor technology, Captain. Very impressive from what I've seen. Can detect objects light years away, track multiple targets simultaneously. Your intelligence officer was quite proud of it. Thurrock frowned. What does this have to do with anything? I'm curious about the technical specifications. What's the smallest object your sensors can detect? What frequencies do they monitor? Are there any blind spots in the coverage? The captain's eyes narrowed dangerously. You are fishing for intelligence, human. That will not help you now. Alex laughed, and the sound seemed to surprise everyone in the corridor, including himself. Intelligence? Captain, I'm a reconnaissance pilot. My job was to gather intelligence about your installations, which I did 3 days ago. Mission accomplished. Your ship was destroyed. Any data you gathered died with it. Did it? Alex turned to look directly at the chronometer. You know, Captain, there's something I should probably mention. Humans have a backup protocol for situations like this. The guards exchanged glances. Even through their armor, Alex could sense their unease. Thurok stepped closer to the cell, his massive frame blocking most of the light. Explain. It's called the Deep Strike Protocol, Alex said conversationally. When a reconnaissance mission goes bad, the pilot's beacon doesn't just call for help. It activates certain contingencies. What contingencies? Alex checked his internal chronometer against the wall display. 4 days, 2 hours, 15 minutes since activation. Well, first it sends a coded message to Earth Defense Command with mission status and location data. That takes about 6 hours to reach the nearest relay station. Thurok's confusion was visible now. Your ship was destroyed. There was no time to transmit. Who said the transmission came from my ship? Alex smiled for the first time since his capture. Standard reconnaissance protocol includes multiple backup systems, Captain. Some of them are designed to be undetectable. The truth hit Vorth like a physical blow as the intelligence officer arrived at a run. He had been monitoring the conversation from the bridge and had finally understood what Alex was telling them. Captain, Vorth said urgently, we need to run. Full spectral analysis on all systems immediately. What are you talking about? Alex answered instead. He's talking about nanobots, Captain. Microscopic machines released from my ship during the crash. Too small for your sensors to detect, designed to look like debris or cosmic dust. The corridor fell silent except for the hum of life support systems. Every draconian present was staring at Alex with expressions ranging from confusion to dawning horror. Nanobots? Thurok repeated slowly. Earth developed the technology about 50 years ago, Alex explained. We call them scouts. They're programmed to infiltrate enemy systems, map internal structures, identify weaknesses, and prepare for various contingencies. Vorth was already speaking into his communicator, ordering immediate system scans. His voice carried an edge of panic that Alex found deeply satisfying. You're lying, Thurok said, but his voice lacked conviction. Am I? Alex checked the chronometer again. 4 days should have been plenty of time for them to map your entire ship. They're probably integrated into your computer systems by now, learning your technology, preparing options. The ship's alert klaxon began wailing. Emergency lights bathed the corridor in red. Through the intercom, Alex could hear reports coming in from all over the vessel. System anomalies, unexplained fluctuations, equipment behaving strangely. What did you do? Thurok demanded. Me? Nothing. I'm locked in your cage, remember? Alex's smile widened. But my little friends have been very busy, and in about 2 hours, when the Deep Strike fleet arrives, they're going to have some very interesting options available. There is no fleet, Thurok roared. Our sensors would have detected them. Your sensors detect what they're designed to detect, Captain. But humanity learned a long time ago that the best way to fight a superior enemy isn't to match their strength. It's to make their strength irrelevant. Vorth burst back into the corridor, his usual calm completely shattered. Captain, we're detecting massive system infiltration. Unknown programs are spreading through our networks. Weapons control is experiencing random failures. Navigation systems are reporting false readings. Alex nodded approvingly. They're learning your technology, gentlemen. By the time my people arrive, they'll know everything about your ship, how to shut down your weapons, how to override your controls, how to turn your own systems against you. The Draconians stared at him in growing horror. Their mighty warship The pride of their fleet was being taken apart from the inside by enemies too small to see. The most dangerous predator, Alex said quietly, isn't the biggest or the strongest. It's the one you never see coming. Chaos had descended on the vengeful Talon like a plague. Emergency crews rushed through corridors as system after system reported failures. The ship's lights flickered constantly, and the artificial gravity fluctuated in waves that made walking difficult. In the detention block, Alex sat calmly on his bench while Draconian guards struggled to maintain their footing. Captain Thurrock's voice echoed through the ship's intercom system, barking orders to his crew. Alex could hear the strain in the captain's voice as reports flooded in from every department. Weapon systems were cycling randomly. Navigation sensors were giving contradictory readings. Even the life support systems were showing signs of interference. "This is impossible," one of the guards muttered in broken galactic standard. "Machines too small to see cannot do this." Alex looked up at the young Draconian with something approaching sympathy. "Your people have conquered 47 worlds, right? How many of those victories came through pure force?" The guard's confusion was visible through his armor's faceplate. "All of them. We are the strongest." "And that's why you're losing now," Alex replied. "You never learned to fight an enemy you couldn't see or overpower." The ship shuddered as another system went offline. Through the walls, Alex could hear the whine of backup generators spinning up. The nanobots were working faster now, spreading through the ship's networks like a virus. Every minute brought new failures, new problems for the Draconian crew to solve. Commander Vorth appeared in the corridor, his usually pristine uniform disheveled. The intelligence officer's yellow eyes were wide with something Alex had never seen there before. Fear. "The contamination is spreading," Vorth reported to the guards. "Engineering reports that the nanobots have infiltrated the reactor control systems. If they cause a cascade failure—" He didn't need to finish the sentence. Everyone present understood the implications. A reactor breach would destroy the ship and everyone aboard it. Alex checked the chronometer again. 4 days, 18 hours, 42 minutes. "You might want to evacuate non-essential personnel," he suggested helpfully. "Just in case." "This is your doing," Vorth accused. "Call them off. Stop this madness." "I can't control them," Alex replied honestly. "They're autonomous, programmed to complete their mission regardless of what happens to me." "What mission?" Alex's smile was grim. "Preparation for extraction. My people don't leave soldiers behind. Commander, they just needed time to level the playing field." The ship's communication system crackled to life with an incoming transmission on all frequencies. The voice that emerged was calm, professional, and speaking perfect galactic standard with an Earth accent. "Draconian vessel. Vengeful Talon, this is Admiral Ryan Cole of the Earth Defense Force vessel Retribution. You are currently holding Commander Alex Reed of our forces. Release him immediately or face the consequences." The effect on the Draconian crew was immediate and dramatic. Guards reached for weapons that weren't there, having left them outside the detention block per security protocols. Vorth's face went pale beneath his scales. Through the intercom, Alex could hear Captain Thurrock's response from the bridge. "Admiral Cole, I see no ship. Your pathetic human lies will not save your soldier. Watch as we execute him and know that Earth will follow." The reply came instantly, as if the human commander had been expecting exactly that response. "Alex, I need you to confirm your status." Alex stood and moved closer to the cell door, his voice carried clearly through the ship's communication system. "Bravo 7 Alpha, mission parameters achieved, package delivered." "Copy that, Commander. Well done. All units, you are authorized to proceed. Operation Shattered Talon is now active." The word sent a chill through every Draconian in earshot. Operation names were military terminology, suggesting levels of planning and coordination that contradicted everything they believed about human capabilities. "Package delivered?" Vorth whispered. "What package?" Alex gestured around them as another system failure sent sparks cascading from a wall panel. 4 days worth of infiltration and data gathering. Your ship's blueprints, System vulnerabilities, command codes, personnel records, everything my people need to take you apart, piece by piece. The ship lurched as the gravity generators fluctuated again. This time, the disruption lasted nearly 30 seconds before stabilizing. Alex remained steady on his feet while the Draconians struggled for balance. How? Forth demanded. Our sensors showed nothing. No ships, no signals, no trace of human presence. Because you were looking for the wrong things, Alex explained patiently. You expected human ships to look like yours. Big, obvious, bristling with weapons. But humans learned stealth from our own predators. We learned to hide, to wait, to strike when the enemy least expects it. The communication system activated again, this time with Captain Thurrock's voice. There is no fleet. Our sensors detect nothing but empty space. Admiral Cole's response was measured and calm. Captain Thurrock, you now have approximately 30 minutes before your ship's reactor goes critical. The nanobots have integrated with your systems and are currently initiating cascading failures. Release Commander Reed to the shuttle we're transmitting coordinates for, and we'll transmit the shutdown codes. There is no shuttle. Thurrock's voice cracked with strain. Our sensors show nothing. Even as he spoke, proximity alarms began wailing throughout the ship. The Draconians' own instruments were detecting something approaching, something that hadn't been there moments before. Alex looked directly at Vorth. Your sensors are excellent at detecting objects that want to be detected. But they're not so good at seeing through human stealth technology. Through the ship's viewports, a section of space near the vengeful Talon began to shimmer and distort. Like heat waves rising from hot pavement, the distortion rippled and bent until suddenly it wasn't empty space anymore. A sleek human vessel materialized, its angular hull reflecting the light from the Draconian ship's running lights. The craft was smaller than the vengeful Talon, but clearly advanced, with lines and curves that spoke of sophisticated engineering. It moved with predatory grace, positioning itself near the Draconian ship's shuttle bay. Impossible, one of the guards breathed. It was not there. Our instruments would have detected it. Your instruments detect what they're designed to detect, Alex repeated. But human stealth technology doesn't work like yours. We don't just block sensors. We convince them to look somewhere else. The ship shuddered again as more systems failed. The lights went out completely for several seconds before emergency power restored basic illumination. In the red glow of the emergency lighting, the Draconians looked like demons from some ancient nightmare. Admiral Cole's voice returned, patient but implacable. Captain Thurrock, time is running short. My engineers estimate 25 minutes before reactor breach. Commander Reed, are you ready for extraction? Alex stepped back from the cell door and nodded to Vorth. Commander, I think you have a choice to make. Let me go and save your ship or watch everyone aboard die when the reactor explodes. Vorth stared at him for a long moment, then activated his communicator. Captain, the human is right. We have to release him. The alternative is total destruction. Thurrock's voice came back filled with rage and frustration. This is not possible. One human cannot defeat an entire Draconian warship. One human didn't, Alex corrected. One human bought time for his people to level the playing field. There's a difference. The cell door flickered and died as the force field generator finally succumbed to nanomachine interference. Alex stepped out into the corridor for the first time in 4 days, stretching muscles cramped from confinement. Gentlemen, he said to the stunned guards, it's been educational, but I have a shuttle to catch. As if summoned by his words, the ship's hull began to vibrate with the harmonic resonance of a docking procedure. Somewhere above them, the human shuttle was connecting to the vengeful Talon's airlock. Alex looked back at Vorth one final time. Commander, a word of advice. Next time you capture a human, remember that we're pack hunters. We never travel alone and we never abandon our own. The walk through the vengeful Talon's corridors was like moving through a ship in its death throes. Emergency lighting cast everything in hellish red, while sparks rained from overloaded conduits and the deck plates vibrated with the irregular rhythm of failing systems. Alex moved with calm purpose while his Draconian escort stumbled through a vessel that no longer obeyed their commands. Behind them, The sound of approaching footsteps echoed through the corridors. Not the heavy boots of Draconians, but the lighter, quicker steps of humans in combat gear. The extraction team was already aboard, moving with the professional efficiency that Alex had expected. "This way, Commander," came a familiar voice. Lieutenant Sarah Kim emerged from a side corridor, her assault rifle tracking potential threats while she maintained perfect situational awareness. "Admiral Cole sends his regards." Alex had served with Kim before. She was reliable, competent, and absolutely lethal when the situation required it. Seeing her now, in full combat gear aboard an enemy vessel, filled him with professional admiration. "Status." "Report, Lieutenant," Alex said as they moved toward the shuttle bay. "Nanobots have achieved 97% system penetration," Kim replied briskly. "We have control of life support, navigation, weapons, and reactor systems. The Draconians are effectively passengers on their own ship." Commander Vorth, who had been following at a safe distance, overheard the exchange. "This is impossible," he muttered. "No species possesses such technology." Alex paused and turned back to face the intelligence officer. "Commander, that's your problem right there. You keep saying things are impossible instead of adapting to new realities." The ship lurched again, more violently this time. Through the bulkheads, they could hear the whine of the reactor struggling against nanomachine interference. The Draconians had built their systems to be powerful and reliable, but they had never considered the possibility of attack from within. 15 minutes to reactor breach," Kim reported. "Unless they want to become a very brief star, they need to accept the shutdown codes." As if responding to her words, Captain Thurrock's voice boomed through the intercom system. The proud Draconian. Captain's tone had changed dramatically from the arrogant predator who had captured Alex 4 days ago. "Human ship, we accept your terms. Transmit the shutdown codes. We will release your prisoner." Admiral Cole's response came immediately. "Shutdown codes transmitted. Commander Reed, confirm your status." Alex activated his communicator as they reached the shuttle bay airlock. "This is Reed, package secure, extraction in progress. All mission objectives achieved." "Outstanding work, Commander. Welcome home." The shuttle bay doors were already opening as they approached. Beyond them, Alex could see the sleek human craft that had appeared from nowhere. Its hull bore the distinctive markings of the Deep Strike Fleet, humanity's most classified military unit. Lieutenant Kim gestured toward the shuttle. "After you, sir." But Alex paused at the threshold, turning one final time to face the Draconians who had gathered to witness his departure. Thurrock himself was there, the massive captain looking diminished somehow in the red emergency lighting. His yellow eyes held an expression Alex had never seen before. Respect mixed with fear. "Captain," Alex said formally, "I want you to understand something. This wasn't personal. You treated me according to your nature and I responded according to mine." Thurrock's scarred face was unreadable. "Your nature? Humans are pack hunters, Captain. We evolved that way. When you capture one of us, you're not just dealing with an individual. You're challenging the entire pack." Alex gestured toward the shuttle. "This is what happens when you threaten our family." The ship shuddered one final time as the nanobots completed their shutdown sequence. The reactor's dangerous fluctuations ceased, replaced by the steady hum of controlled power. Life support stabilized. The emergency lighting gave way to normal illumination. Commander Vorth stepped forward, his scientific curiosity overcoming his military caution. "The nanobots. How long have humans possessed this technology?" "Officially? We don't," Alex replied, with a slight smile. "The Deep Strike Fleet doesn't exist in any public records. But to answer your question, we've been developing microscopic warfare systems for about 60 years, ever since we realized we might encounter species like yours." "Species like us?" "Powerful, arrogant, convinced of your own superiority." Alex's expression grew serious. "The galaxy is full of empires that conquered through brute force. We learned early that humans couldn't compete in that arena, so we developed other advantages." Lieutenant Kim checked her chronometer. "Commander, we need to go." Admiral Cole wants to debrief before we jump to hyperspace. Alex nodded but continued speaking to the assembled Draconians. Here's something for you to consider. Earth sent one reconnaissance ship to spy on your installations. One ship, with one pilot. You're right that this doesn't show overwhelming strength. Thurok's eyes narrowed. Then what does it show? Confidence, Alex replied. We sent one ship because we knew one ship was enough. Not because of superior firepower, but because of superior planning. We studied you for months before this mission. We knew your capabilities, your weaknesses, your psychology. The truth of his words hung in the air like a physical presence. The Draconians had been so focused on their own superiority that they had never considered the possibility of being outmaneuvered by a supposedly primitive species. This changes nothing, Thurok said, but his voice lacked conviction. The Draconian Empire spans 50 star systems. We have conquered countless worlds. One small victory will not save your species from our might. Alex paused in the shuttle doorway and looked back at the captain. Captain, let me give you some free advice. Before you make any decisions about Earth, I suggest you study human military history more carefully. Why? Because you'll discover something interesting. Humans have never won a war through superior strength or numbers. We win by being smarter, more adaptable, and more stubborn than our enemies. We've been doing it for thousands of years. The shuttle's engines began their startup sequence, filling the bay with a low harmonic hum. Through the craft's viewports, Alex could see stars wheeling slowly as the ship adjusted its position. Every species you've conquered before fought you, the way you expected them to fight, Alex continued. Ship against ship, strength against strength, empire against empire. But humans don't fight fair, Captain. We fight to win. Forth stepped closer to the shuttle. What are you saying? I'm saying that if the Draconian Empire decides to threaten Earth, you're going to discover just how dangerous a species can be when it refuses to play by your rules. Alex's smile was cold now, predatory in a way that made several Draconians step back involuntarily. The nanobots in your ship aren't weapons, gentlemen. They're a demonstration. A small sample of what human technology can accomplish when we put our minds to it. If you think microscopic machines are impressive, wait until you see what we've been building in the deeper parts of our solar system. The shuttle's boarding ramp began to retract. Alex stepped back but continued speaking. Captain Thurok, you told me that the Draconian Empire was the apex of evolution, that you had evolved beyond the need for caution. I want you to remember this conversation when you're writing your report to your superiors. What should I tell them? Thurok asked. Alex's final words carried across the shuttle bay with crystal clarity. Tell them that humanity is not like the other species you've conquered. Tell them that we're the children of a hostile world that spent millions of years trying to kill us. Tell them that every challenge made us stronger, every setback taught us something new. The shuttle door sealed with a soft hiss of equalizing pressure. Through the viewport, Alex could see the Draconian officers still standing in the bay, watching as the human craft prepared to depart. Lieutenant Kim took the pilot's seat while Alex strapped himself into the passenger compartment. Around them, the shuttle's systems hummed with quiet efficiency. Human engineering at its finest, designed for stealth, speed, and reliability. Admiral Cole to extraction team, came the voice through the comm system. Status report. Package secure, Kim replied. Departing Draconian vessel now. All objectives achieved. Copy that. Prepare for fleet decloak on my mark. Alex looked up sharply. Fleet decloak? Kim's smile was visible in her reflection on the viewport. Did you think we came alone, Commander? Admiral Cole brought the entire 7th Deep Strike Squadron. 12 ships, all equipped with nanobotic packages and full stealth capability. As if summoned by her words, the space around the vengeful Talon began to shimmer and distort. One by one, human warships materialized from nothingness, their sleek hulls reflecting the light from the Draconian vessel. They had been there all along, invisible and patient, waiting for the extraction to complete. The effect on the Draconians was immediate and devastating. Through the shuttle's sensors, Alex could see emergency crews scrambling across the Vengeful. Talon's hull, trying to understand how an entire human fleet had approached without detection. 12 ships, Alex murmured. All this time they were watching. Admiral Cole wanted to make a point, Kim explained as she guided the shuttle, away from the draconian vessel. Sometimes the best way to avoid a war is to demonstrate that you're already prepared to win it. Alex leaned back in his seat and closed his eyes. 4 days of captivity, 4 days of psychological warfare and physical discomfort. But it had all been worth it to see the expression on Thurok's face when he realized that humanity was far more dangerous than he had ever imagined. The shuttle accelerated toward the flagship, leaving the vengeful Talon and its stunned crew behind. In a few hours, Alex would be home, debriefed, and return to active duty. But the memory of this mission would stay with him forever. Humanity had sent a message to the Draconian Empire, not through diplomacy or threats, but through a demonstration of capabilities that had left even experienced warriors speechless with shock. The message was simple. Underestimate humans at your own peril. As the shuttle docked with the Retribution, Alex could hear Admiral Cole's voice one final time over the comm system, broadcasting on all frequencies so the Draconians could hear every word. Captain Thurok, this concludes our business here. Commander Reed's mission was to gather intelligence on your military installations, which he has accomplished. The nanobots will remain dormant in your systems as a reminder of this encounter. Any hostile action against Earth or human interests will activate them permanently. The Admiral paused, letting his words sink in. We trust this demonstration has been educational. Safe travels, Captain.